Hey, look, Lawrence is finally transporting. We found our missing cow. Look at him go. Oh, man, I am so happy he finally made it here. It is September. We ordered him back in August? No, in April. So, I mean, he's only 5 months behind. Hey, I'm glad that that finally worked out for us. I don't know what was up. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he's coming from the other side of the map. But that was really a mess. So I'm glad to see that he did finally make it. We got all of our cows here. Which is good because we're in a position where we really need to start earning some money. Hey everybody, Masticon here. This is episode 12 of our Shibboleth series, where we're going to be figuring out exactly what we can do with our new region and how to build it for sustainable growth for the future. So thanks for hanging out, and let's play some Manor Lords. So as we look into Tausendbruck here, things are going pretty well. We have a decent store of food. We have lots of empty burgage plots, and we're in pretty good situation. But over in Cuillin, our new area, we are clearly hungry for, well, fuel for one. It looks like we did just finish our granary, so we are in pretty good shape as far as that goes. So let's take a look over there and see how things are going. Oh, we still have not finished our malt house here and our seamstress or the weaver shop. So I have my storehouse. Storehouse is working great. We just got the granary in, so we do want to get some people working in that granary pretty soon, just because that's going to keep our numbers up. We're doing okay. We got timber. We do not yet have any lumber, so that is something we're going to need to be keeping an eye on for the future. We got this one person on our woodcutter's lodge, and we are getting stuff out of our forager's hut here. So we are definitely collecting in a fair amount of food. So it's looking like we may be able to make it through. Definitely not in as tight a position as our other region was because of how many mushrooms there are here. So we do want to go ahead and get our one person into our granary so we can start having food be out and available. We are making our burgage plots here. We don't have any done right now, so we're just waiting for this one to get finished, and hopefully that'll jump in right away here. And we do have our charcoal kiln just to start that process going, but we do have someone working on the fuel issue. Again, because fuel is something that's pretty easy to harvest year-round, the fact that I'm low on it now is not really an immediate concern to me in any significant way. I do wonder where everyone who is supposed to be working on this currently is. They seem to be just hanging out around, not willing to finish the job. I think we need to get someone over to crack the whip and get the people working the way they're supposed to. Should probably check to see. Looks like people are heading there, so it doesn't look like I have another traffic jam like I previously had that held me up. I still do have this missing ox by the name of Lawrence. Don't know where he is. I bought him a while ago, a couple of months at this point. Still hasn't shown up. Not sure if that's ever going to do anything. I don't really have a way to get rid of him. I could expand, build some more plots for that, but currently I don't have another way to deal with that. It will be nice getting the second oxen in. Should have had that months ago because that's when I ordered the first one, and maybe he's just taken a long time to get here. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, so this burgage plot is ticking right along and almost done, so that's great. That will give us our mid-June move-in, which shouldn't be a problem. And we'll be in good position for the future to make sure we hit all those future move-ins. Again, we did run into a few problems early on where things were a little bit tight, largely because of a couple of bugs, one being that Oxen and the other being the issue with people getting stuck in a single burgage plot, not able to produce. All right, over here, I do have a lot of available workers, and I'm just trying to get all of my oxen over, trying to finish everything up. because it is June. Before long it will be August, and we'll go ahead and need to actually get our harvest and start pulling in so we can start making both clothes and ale. At some point I will want a second house, second farm out there, but for now, just as I'm getting going, I am less concerned about that. Eventually, it'll be something I'll definitely want. I'm also going to want to make sure I expand out my burgage plots. I do have a bunch of burgage plots that I have not upgraded here. Probably want to start getting in some animal pens and just filling that out so that I can, again, get in more pigs, make sure I have the meat available for the upgrades as they are necessary. One disadvantage of doing this is that all of the upgrades I have going on will tend to slow down the construction of the other things. So with upgrades both to the backyard plots as well as the burgage plot upgrades, some of the other things I've put down have not yet been getting built. It is important that you don't get too far ahead of yourself as far as all the many building that you have, because eventually you are going to run into problems where some people are going to not be in a position to actually go out and finish the construction that you need because they are working on random upgrades you might have clicked in the meantime. Meanwhile, in Cuillin, things are progressing pretty well. We now do have at least a backlog of food as well as a backlog of some firewood, so definitely in a better position there than we were previously. We do have our small stable completed by the farmhouse, so we do want to make sure that we get this upgraded so that we can get our oxen out there for plowing. Those regular purchases of oxen are very important. You really do want 2 readily available for each of your farmhouses. It is also not a bad idea to have them assigned to your logging camps as well. And if you can spare them, if you have money and not much else to do with it, you can go ahead and also throw one onto your logging pit, because that will work very well as well. Looks like I do have 2 of these apiaries here, but I did not go through and upgrade the others. You don't get a bonus for more than 5, but I do want to make sure I have 5 with all the things I'm growing here. That will have a impact on the other farms, the fields, and various other things in that one region. So as I'm going in, I'm basically checking back and forth between regions, seeing is there anything I need to keep upgraded. I am going to go ahead and switch this over to tools. I don't really need, I have a fine backlog of my crossbows, so I don't really need a huge backlog of tools, or a huge backlog of the parts for those, and I can start making some tools to just kind of, I'll sell some of them off, and I'll just make sure I have a decent group. So I'm going to set a limit here where I don't really need more than too many of them. There does seem to be a bug where when I type things in here, it doesn't always hold on to it. I should probably just start using the arrows, but I'm convinced that if I hit the button fast enough, maybe it'll work. Alright, now I'm at 10 tools. That's definitely not the limit I want. So now I'm at 100 tools. So that way I will have a decent backlog and can just keep progressing with those. It does look like the malt house is now completed. Again, I don't have any barley yet, so I don't need to assign anyone there. But I am going to need the brewers pretty soon and make sure that that is in there. Alright, back in Cuillin, we now have a couple of extra plots ready to go, so we should be hitting all of our move-ins for the next little bit. Our approval is up to 62%, which is a pretty good position to be in. This means that now we should, those oxen should be able to just drag things over and get our charcoal kiln built, and we can begin looking at expansion and seeing what comes next. I still do just see those 2 oxen, which is really not enough oxen. I have purchased 3, and maybe I don't have the money now to be able to purchase another one, which does leave us in a slightly awkward situation. You will notice here that the charcoal kiln is taking a little while. There is not a lot of people that I have here. I did just get, that's my mid-June move-in, so everything is kind of working according to plan, which is really what I am hoping here. I'm going to go ahead and leave the speed up a bit, but I am going to take a look at what else I may want to start looking at dropping in. Specifically here, it is probably time to go ahead and build in a trading post. And so I'm going to put a trading post right across from my two two storage facilities, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop in now. Drop in that the Oxen hitching post. I do want to get into a position where I can start to export some things. Of course, I don't really have much to export yet. I do want to make sure I stay ahead of things as far as my burgage plots go, so I will be dropping down a number of new burgage plots. I don't want to fall too far behind, and I only have one open now, and kind of waiting too long on that can lead to some problems. So once this trading post gets done, which is progressing nicely here, the other thing I do need to look at is moving over towards the logging camp. Not the logging camp, the sawmill. And that is going to be important to start getting higher quality things built in the near future here. We are doing decent on food, and we can now move, since we have a bunch of firewood, we can move someone over and start producing charcoal. I do wish there was an easy way to prevent people from buying firewood when you are producing charcoal, but the only way to do that requires an additional storehouse. With an additional storehouse, you can have one that holds firewood and one that holds charcoal, and have the one that holds firewood not actually sell anything. And you can kind of just use that for intermediary products. Now, I do want to make sure that I get my my farmhouse has the necessary oxen for as we're moving through summer to prepare for the future. This here is going to be my other farm. This is a cabbage farm. So once it gets set up, we will be ready to go once they finish building it, which here we go. And I can go ahead and drop in the upgrade, and they will finish that up pretty quick. Do want to make sure that I have enough people on that farmhouse. We did get move-ins in both of our areas, so that is continuing to progress as we want. You'll notice, running at a higher speed here, that it is actually difficult to keep up with everything you need effectively, and that's just at the 4x speed. If you went to the 3 times, you would be missing out tons of your moves. This right here is where I want to go ahead and put in some of my put in some plots for rye. This is kind of the only fertile area I have, and rye is a decent enough way to cover some of the food needs. Doesn't handle all of it, but it is a good thing. I don't really like the way this road is functioning. It's definitely making things difficult. I kind of tried to follow that existing trail, but it's making building out a good-sized plot really difficult. So I think in the end here, our real answer is to get rid of this road. We're just going to kind of go along the outside of where all of that nice area is, and we're going to clear this off, get rid of this road. And unfortunately, that got rid of the road pretty much all the way back to town, so we'll have to redraw that in. Won't be too bad, just need to, going to kind of follow the same path we had there. All right, so that connects up. Does it connect up? We'll make it connect up here. So that all connects in. We'll stick the farmhouse way out there, and then go ahead, and that way we can kind of follow the contours a little bit better here and try to fit as much as we can into this area. So there's one. That's almost 2 Morgans, so that's about what I'm going to want to do, but I'm going to want to do half of it at a time. Because of how unfertile a bunch of this ground is, I'm going to have to be careful and not use a ton of it. I'm going to have to use some of it that is not as fertile as others, and just, well, that's where food's going to come from, folks. So I want to build this out. Again, I like to keep these at about 1 Morgan because it's easier to kind of calculate out what you actually need. This one I might just make is 1.1. It's only a little bigger, so that's fine. And it looks like we do have the space to put a couple more up here. Probably, by the looks of things, only about 2 more plots that'll 2 more fields that'll actually fit into the proper size. So that's a bit too big. So there's 1 Morgan. And then we'll put another one over here. It's going to have to go a little bit outside of that area to quite be that 1 Morgan size, but there we go. Now, unfortunately, that's only 5. If I put 1 more in, which I could do in order to have 3 with the full rotation happening, probably worth doing at some point, but I'm really not going to worry about that until I get to the last of the rotation. But that is going to kind of make for an inconsistent overall amount of grain that I'm producing for this, which really is too bad. So setting these up, once again, I want them to be rye. I got a good rye area here. Unfortunately, rye production isn't amazing. It's going to be rye fallow. This is going to be rye fallow rye. This is going to be fallow rye. And again, you do have to make sure that 1 in your rotation is fallow. Even switching to another product is not a good idea, as it doesn't actually recuperate the same way that not producing is. So this one's rye fallow rye, and this is going to be rye fallow. And then maybe by the time those actually get into production, I'll drop another less productive one over there. All right, so that is good, and then we will be dragging over and building those up. We do have a nice little store of wood now, and we do want to, we can get the point where we have both the charcoal kiln and the wood cutters going just fine. Gonna fill in this kind of last little spot here. Just, nope, I don't want a big house, just like that. Try to do that with the snapping off. All right, so that's our August move-in. So we are moving in towards fall here, which is exactly where we want to be. Everybody's still coming in just fine. We are going to want to throw down some settlers here. We're also would love to get that plow going, but that requires planks, and we don't have any planks yet. So next thing to do, well, first off, we are going to want a hitching post up here. We don't have the money to actually do anything with that yet, so that is also kind of too bad. We'll drop a hitching post there, and then we need to get over and get our saw pit going. And we're just going to drop that right over here next to our logging camp. You do want to keep these close to the logging camps just because it's far more efficient for things moving back and forth. All right, we do have our Weaver's Workshop is up and running now, and so that puts everything into a good shape. So I do want to go ahead. These have been upgraded once, so I do want to make sure that I get my brewery, and I want to make sure that I get my Weaver's Tailor's Workshop. And that'll allow me to start actually processing into clothing or gambesons and processing into everything else. I do want to make sure that my farmhouses are prepared to be able to handle what is coming down the line. And look at all those I can upgrade now. Now, the one thing about upgrading, once again, remember that upgrading is going to slow down all the other construction I just dropped. But I do want to get these upgraded because that is a whole bunch of money. Now, I do have a problem up here that my pantry is full up in the forager's hut. And that means that I do not have enough workers in my granary to also make sure they are grabbing that out. They should be able to go ahead and do that. We are sitting at 10 months of food, so that is definitely a good position to be in. pretty soon, though, that's going to stop producing. So for now, we're going to put someone extra in the granary just to help pull that out because we don't want any of those mushrooms wasting away. Our saw pit is done, so we do want someone to start producing in there. I'm kind of always torn about exactly what to do. First off, you absolutely have to set a limit on planks, otherwise you will just make way too many planks. My issue with setting a limit on lumber is that you don't really ever want to stop your plank production because you do want to be able to keep making those. So it's always kind of an interesting decision. I am going to reset the area. If you remembered back when we started this area, I'd set the work area just to that kind of corner to make sure I included some things. So, all right, we still have just all of these plots sitting here available for upgrade, so we definitely want to go through and make sure we are getting them upgraded. We are getting lower on planks, so we don't want to burn through everything there upgrading. We might need some on something else. I am going to look at getting another well put in because this region is getting pretty big. I was kind of hoping to do it up in that area. Looks like that is not going to happen. All right, let's not worry about the well yet then. Got a well here. We do have extra families we can drop in, and they aren't doing a whole lot else right now, so I think we're safe to drop them in, get them out there plowing some of the fields. We don't have trading horses yet, so we don't have a whole lot we can actually sell off right now, which kind of puts us in an unfortunate place. We do want to make sure that we're still producing more burgage plots, so we just want to make sure that that keeps going along. That's not what I want there at all. Oh, close. Yeah, those three will just be fine. We just don't want to fall too far behind. We do have wood now, so we are able to get those, get the oxen, the plowing station going for the oxen. And you can see that our region's coming along quite well. We're hitting all of our move-ins. Everything seems to be going well, and we're pretty happy with what we're seeing so far. I do want to look at building out here. This is kind of one of the main reasons we want to be in the region, and that is to put in our quarry. So we're going to kind of start that process now and go ahead and drop in that quarry. Now it's going to take them a while to actually get out here to build it all out, which is kind of too bad. And I am going to have to at some point start building out resources out here, houses, things, just so people don't have to travel as far. All right, we are into September, which is pretty good progress. We do want to make sure our farmhouses definitely have enough people. We are getting our move-ins, hitting our move-ins here, which is great. And so we are definitely still growing the way we want to. Interestingly, we are down to a single space for only one family here in Tausendbruck. So that's a consideration for the future. I am going to want to build in some more houses. And I think right here I've got a nice little area where I can just drop in a pretty big swarm of houses. And it seems a bit big in the backyard there. That seems fine. And that'll just kind of cover my my overall position for a bit and be in good shape. We do want to continue upgrading, though we have tons of planks now, so we're not worried about that. It's really just the builders going and doing their stuff. And remember, this does bring in more money. Look over there at our overall cash haul. We are sitting in our treasury at 635 coin, which is enough to go ahead and settle a new region. Now, I don't want to run off and settle that new region quite yet, partially because once I get out there, I don't really want to start that in September, October, November, December. I want to start that in, March, April, maybe as early as February. We do want to make sure we aren't overproducing our helmets or our chain shirts or any of that. We do want to make sure, let's see, our bakery is doing everything we want it to. And we are now harvesting both the barley and the flax, which is fantastic. We can see out here, They are dragging logs. They're going to take those logs all the way over, way out to our quarry there, which is kind of unfortunate that it's so far away, but that's just how this region is going to be built. So I'm kind of going to work on expanding the town between those two locations. I might end up needing a couple of marketplaces for that, just so everyone can get all their stuff. Kind of having two sections, like a workers' camp and a regular area. Hey, look, Lawrence is finally transporting. We found our missing cow. Look at him go. Oh, man, I am so happy he finally made it here. It is September. We ordered him back in April. So, I mean, he's only 5 months behind. Hey, I'm glad that finally worked out for us. I don't know what was up. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he's coming from the other side of the map. But that was really a mess. So I'm glad to see that he did finally make it. We got all of our cows here. Which is good because we're in a position where we really need to start earning some money. I am hoping that our that's our September movement. I am hoping that our once we get the quarry going, we can start selling some of that off to actually make some money, because that's kind of our main export that we have available right now. I don't necessarily want to sell off the food yet. I don't really want to sell off much of anything else, but we do need a way to get some money in. We are getting a ton of money over here in Tausendbruck, which is awesome. So that's just a great position to be at. Going to make sure we get the other oxen in here and that we get oxen assigned to that particular house. Let's see. Oh, no unassigned families needed for construction work. We're out of workers for the building. So we're just gonna, let's see, who can we pull off? We can pull off. We're not actually making great use of this. This one person is bringing in like 4 meat and a couple of pelts. So I don't know that I necessarily need that. I could pull him off the church, but the church seems fine. Also, we are sitting on a ton of food, ton of stuff, so I'm not worried about that. We are constructing. Everything is going through, building up just fine, upgrading everything. Still have our one-man retinue here, hoping that someday he can either get in a fight and die or just, be the champion we all want him to be. Man, that quarry has all the wood it needs, so now it just needs the planks, which they need to go and drag. Those planks are really far away. It is quite a ways for them to get out there. We are going to assign one of our oxen here because I want him to help plow that, because I want to make sure I can plow and plant everything this year. And I don't have them. They don't need to be dragging anything else out there currently. So once they get done plowing, I can move them off and hopefully start making enough money I can put someone else over there instead. I do have workers available in the farmhouse now, so 3 people working there should manage most of what we need. It would be great if I had another oxen. Oh, these mushrooms are done. So by mid-September, I've got no mushrooms. Don't need anyone sitting on that. So I'm going to pull the mushrooms off there. And it is October. It is time to plant and sow in everything. So hopefully in the near future we can get all of that placed in. Still got all of our October move-ins. So things are definitely going well on that front. We got builders coming in here. So we are out of burgage plots. So just need to finish a couple of those down there. Probably need to lay off the upgrades for a little bit, since that's taking a significant amount of attention. They did manage to get a bunch of the logs over there, so hopefully they'll just finish those up pretty quick. Yeah, we're still sitting on good resources across the board there, so I'm not worried about that. Let's see, anything else we need to make sure of? I do have the stable here, and I kind of don't want it to stay there, but I'll deal with that in a bit. I don't have livestock assigned over here. Apparently, they're naming the oxen the same thing. So I'm going to reassign oxen to make sure that I'm plowing appropriately and I get everything sowed. Again, I don't want to lose that. Ideally, at this point, I should be able to just make sure every stable has all the oxen I could possibly need so that I'm not actually pushing up against the edge on any of those. I do really want to get this burgage plot made before the end of October. So I can hit that move-in as well. You can see they're working on it. Our charcoal kiln and our woodcutter's lodge are both doing fine, sitting on plenty of fuel. Looks like our farmhouse, they're bringing everything in. I think they're still bringing it in, but it looks like it's starting to get processed and run through and turned into bread. So once again, going to have a ton of bread we're sitting on there. Out here, let's see, that is our woodcutter's lodge is full, so probably can take, see, what are we running into? Our storehouse is definitely getting close to full here, and with all the charcoal that's going to be coming in, we don't want that to go too quickly. So we're going to have to just be careful and keep an eye out and upgrade that in the relatively near future. Let's see what we can go ahead and trade. We can try to get rid of, we've got some pelts, and we don't need pelts for anything. So we can just try to move those. It's not a lot, but, you know, that'll tick us up. Maybe we can get another oxen. There is our middle of October move-in. We are going to need to, once again, build some more houses because we are getting low on burgage plots. So I think I can drop one or two in over here. Oh, that's absurd, and I kind of like the look of it. Yeah, let's drop those two in there. Those can get built up. And still can't upgrade that one yet. We need to wait to get enough wood. Or enough planks. That's kind of what we're waiting on. And currently I have the logs set to 20, so we're not actually making any planks right now. Also, we need them to drag those planks out as well. Down here, what are we over on? We've got planks are doing good there. Let's see, that's our carrot space. Oh, we never did, we can upgrade this now, so that's nice. Get that moving along as well. We do have 3 burgage plots now, so we're not worried about our November move-ins. We've also got all those people are crossbows. No space, no storage space left for production of the woodcutter's lodge. Again, not the biggest concern. One thing I can do is just go ahead and set a, let's see, I can't set a cap on my woodcutter's lodge. That's kind of interesting, but okay. We'll just bounce him over to the charcoal kiln and let that happen over there. So it looks like we are getting things planted in. We are doing well as far as getting those new burgage plots in. So yep, finishing up burgage plots, so we have extras in pretty much every region at this point. We still have not managed to build out our stone. So in our next episode, we're going to try to build out the stone. We're going to make sure everything is in good shape for the future, and we're ready for winter. Should survive this winter just fine. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for playing some Manor Lords with me. And don't forget to click subscribe, like, thumbs up, leave a comment for the sake of engagement.